Welcome to the Manna at the Tap podcast, an online spiritual formation community known as Tapestry Ministries. Our podcast provides daily spiritual nourishment in bite sized pieces that we call manna. It is tailored for individuals seeking spiritual growth. And I'm Gloria, your host, and I'm delighted to guide you on this journey. Each day, the worship team chooses one of the lectionary readings from the Revised Common Lectionary, a service of the Vanderbilt Divinity Library. A prayer is then written in line with the reading, and our psalmist chooses a song that reflects the reading and the prayer. The interactive engagement with the lectionary reading is at the heart of our podcast. We gather on Zoom daily to share and discuss what the text means to us, fostering a sense of community and shared spiritual growth. This ensures that you're not just a listener, but an active participant in your own spiritual journey. Here is where we are in the liturgical calendar year. We are in the fourth week of the 7 weeks of the Easter season, leading us to Ascension Day on Thursday, May the 9th, 2024. 10 days later, on Sunday, May the 19th, we celebrate Pentecost. After that, we will begin the long season of after Pentecost, which will circle us back to the season of Advent, the beginning of a new church year on Sunday, December the 1st, 2024. We hope that you'll continue to journey with us through the rest of the liturgical year as we learn the stories of the people, places, and spaces where we will encounter the presence of God at work in their lives and also in our lives. We will see what and how God planned and purposed for their lives and how He also has plans and purposes for our lives. Now, let's get back to the lectionary text for today. It's in the Old Testament, and it's 1 Samuel 16, verses 1 to 13. It is the story of a young man taking care of his father's sheep and God choosing him to be the shepherd of his people. Well, I told you the end of the story, but it is better to begin at the beginning. It was not instant coffee. It was a journey fraught with family conflicts at home and being pursued by the enemy on the outside. Samuel, the son of Hannah, the child she prayed for, succeeded Eli as the judge, the priest, and the prophet to the people of Israel as they grew and became a nation. God wanted to be their king and direct them, but their eyes were fixed on how the other nations around them had a king they could see, and they wanted the same. God granted them their request. Samuel and the people chose their first king, Saul, by acclamation. Samuel appointed him to rule over the people and be the political and military presence, especially against their arch enemy, the Philistines. At first, Saul looked like he would be a good leader, but it soon became apparent that he liked to change Samuel's instructions, do his own thing, and then blame the people for what he did. Samuel was once a youth with a bright future. He kept the lamp of God burning in Shiloh against a backdrop of corruption by his mentor Eli, who was rejected by the Lord. He was despondent that Saul was also rejected by the Lord, who exclaimed to explained to Samuel that he, Samuel, was looking at Saul's physique, but the Lord chooses people based on the person's heart. The Lord sent Samuel to Bethlehem and the family of Jesse under the cover of inviting them to a dinner. There, the Lord would show Samuel which one of Jesse's sons to anoint to replace Saul. Samuel saw the oldest son of Jesse and thought to himself, this is the one. But when he went to anoint him, nothing came out of the horn of oil. And the same thing happened to 7 of Jesse's sons. They were all rejected by God. Samuel had to ask the question, are these all your sons? Ooh, then Jesse remembered there was still one last son. He had forgotten about the one who was tending the sheep. Samuel sent for him. He wasn't as tall as his brothers, but he was glowing with health and he was handsome. When Samuel placed the horn of oil above David's head, the oil began to flow in the presence of his brothers. David's older brothers hated him from that day and treated him with disdain. But Samuel's action changed this ordinary youth's world. He left behind the wide open spaces of living and sleeping under the stars, writing poetry and composing songs. And it would be a journey of 15 years before he would become king and reign after Saul's death. What an unforgettable dinner experience Jesse's family had that night.